Now, to the United States, and let's move on from talking exclusively about the debate and get to is Joe Biden going to stay in the race? As you know, past 24 hours, he spent it with his family at Camp David. Now, the family, unsurprisingly, turned around and told him, you've got to stay in, Joe. They also did a photo shoot with Annie Leibovitz. So they have no interest in jumping out. Instead, amazingly, they are blaming not Joe Biden, not themselves for exposing Joe Biden, but the people around Joe Biden. They are, and I quote, privately trashing his top campaign advisors, blaming them for the president's flop on Thursday. What about them blaming themselves for exposing the weakness of their husband, father, or, if the kids are old enough, grandfather? They're also cracking into the CNN moderators. Remember, the CNN debate in the studio with the mics cut off in June was the Biden campaign's idea. Additionally, Biden's campaign staff are getting angry at CNN about how the debate was run, according to several people familiar with the conversations. Their complaints were lengthy, including that the moderators should have fact-checked Trump more often, that Biden was not told which camera he'd be on when not speaking, and that the makeup staff appeared to make him too pale. This is pathological gaslighting. And all of his problems will not get better. He will only get older, he will only get weaker, because that happens to all of us. You have seen people in the prime of their life go in with jet black hair, and after 4 or 8 years of the presidency, it's grey. So imagine what it does to a bloke who will be beyond his mid-80s should he get another 4 years in the job. But unbelievably, all of the people who are afraid of upsetting the Biden family are all coming out now publicly and saying nothing to see here. Don't believe your lying eyes. He wasn't sick, he wasn't frail. The makeup was the problem. There are, of course, many members of the media who often think of themselves too much as participants rather than commentators, but still, a broken clock can be right twice a day.
You know, Democrats want to lecture Republicans for putting party over country and how they've been enabling of Donald Trump. Can Democrats really sit there and say, you know, this is not about whether you think Biden can win the election. He might be able to win the election. It's not because he's Joe Biden. It's because he's not Donald Trump. The real issue is he telling the truth about whether he can serve a full 4 years?
And again, part of the nonsense is, oh, the polls, you know, our internal polls are much better than everything else that's being said publicly. Well, as you know, follow the data. More than 70% of people say that he should not drop out of the race. Why? Because they watched what 80 million people watched the other day. 72% of people, basically a full 10-point increase, say he should jump out of the race. His family, whose entire business model is, of course, selling access to dad, the entire Democratic establishment, who just thinks because he's not Donald Trump he'll win, is willing to continue their lie and prop up this bloke. Whether it works or not, we'll all find out together, but it is pretty ridiculous.